Welcome. About 15 minutes out to the news. Starting a little bit early just so I can make sure I can get some people in here before the event starts or the news releases. I'll start analysis in just a couple minutes to share with you guys what my plan is for the news releasing in about 12 minutes. Alright, so I'm already in a trade on the EU, and you can see where this one is. So this was pretty much what I said in my Discord. I expected price to run up on the EU and tap this level, so 1.07459, and that to pretty much be the highest point. This will probably go potentially a little bit further. I don't think it will reach this next level before the news is posted. So today I'm trading the retail sales, and that's releasing in about 10 minutes. I'm expecting this to be positive, and for price to fall on the EU, probably initially down to level 1 or 2, and then later on probably at least a retest of level 1. No sound? It sounds like, I think that people can hear me right now, Leandro. I'm glad you like the music, yeah. I've been working a little bit on that. Alright, so last night actually, or during the European session, I entered a trade on gold. So this was during the Japanese session. You can see where my entry was right here. Price dipped a little bit into level 3, bounced off of level 3, and targeted right where I was expecting price to hit. So I was able to come out with about 42 pips profit on that move. So yeah, so already 0.23% profit for today, which is this week continues to go well at 1.86. So I hope that today, you know, things also go well. That I'm not wrong on this move on price reversing, so stopping right here, which is it's a perfect place for it to find resistance right in here and then come down. So I'm expecting, let's see, how much of a move here? Probably about 75 pips initially. I think that it will come down to at least this daily resistance zone or support zone right here, and probably to level 3. And then I'm hoping that it will extend and retest level 3 here by the end of the day, which would be a pretty big move. But if the numbers are pretty dramatic, it could definitely hit 150 pips on the downside. And we're pushing into higher into this resistance just before the news releases, which is a good sign. I mean, the pound is not looking, it didn't do its pullback. It actually fell right back into level 2 again. So not as many hints there, but Aussie USD, same thing, big pullback, pushing beyond level 3 here, and probably going to find it right in between level 3 and level 2 before I push down. But this is the thing, is that I'm taking a calculated risk here, and that's pretty much what trading is, right? Where prices played out how I've expected for over the last 24 hours, which is the dip from the CPI data, the pullback into yesterday's trading right in here, and then a further pullback into the European and Japanese session and European session, leading into the data today. So with that playing out like this pullback is likely showing me that retail sales will be positive and the USD will gain some value and likely retest at this low. How's it going, Mad Maniac? This could be a short session. I don't know if things go well today. I could be out of these trades within an hour after, an hour after the news releases. And I'm gonna hold this through the data. So data releases, I won't be taking my profit until I see the numbers. And then I'll look at potentially setting my profit levels. Looks good though, guys. I know that is sometimes scary to counter the move that's currently happening. But yeah, I think that this is banks and institutions trying to get in at better prices so they can make more profit once that move happens. But I could be wrong on this guess here, and price decides that it's not going to push down and it's going to push up into this next level 3, which is around 206. So I'll enter my first trade right before the news in the next 3 minutes. And if price pushes up, I'll look at the data and consider another position up here at the top. And play it out from there. No, I'm doing manual trading here. So it's a combination. So basically, sometimes I use my algorithm here. Like this trade was taken off of my EA. So this horizontal line was triggered a sell trade, and that was done automatically while I was sleeping. And I'll close out this trade manually, but I have a lot of control using the EA that you see right here. And it allows me to basically almost do everything through the EA. All I have to do is just place the first order. And the EA can manage the rest of it, or as much or as little as I want. I want more control, but other traders that want more hands-off can allow the EA to do it. All right, so we'll place this about 2 minutes out, so about a minute left to go. pushing strong right at the level. 1.07459. Shoot. Ah, there goes. My video feed was down for a second. All right. All right, I'm gonna be placing some trades. All right, so I'm all set here. Just make sure that, okay, so good here. I'm gonna keep keeping my eye mostly on gold because that will take the biggest move. Get my news ready. Let's see what that is. And here we go. This is always the moment that, you know, get your heart pounding because price really goes with these heavy news releases. All right, about 30 seconds out. Best of luck, whoever is in this trade. Let's see what how this takes place. Okay, so we're freezing. Okay, it's going up. So I could be wrong on this one. Okay, so I'm gonna check the results here. Okay, so it looks like they're unemployment claims. Okay, so it's a bit mixed. So we'll see how this plays out. There could be a whip here. I don't think I'm going to add to this. Okay, so it's looking okay for now. I want to see if this holds, though. It may not take this whipsaw. retail sales were pretty down, but they should be down. I still think that this is going to be probably positive USD, but it could take a while for this to decide. And if I'm wrong, then I play this out accordingly. And I'll look for another position up at the top here around this next level 3, around 206. So my second pending order was triggered through the EA at the 1.07626. Alright, I'm gonna go down to the lower time frames here. Personally, I think that these numbers are more negative USD than mixed. I think that it's on the more negative side. So if that's the case, then I could get hit here, and it could go either way. At least it's not going to be this aggressive move in one direction, because it's not an obvious deciphering this news release is not obvious, is basically what I'm saying. But we'll see this as a stop hunt situation, where price just knocks out all the stops up here, and then we continue down. So I want to see this M5 candle close bearish, and that closes in about 20 seconds. Good. Gold is making the first move on here. This about 5 seconds left. Good. That's a good candle close. Let's see if this can continue. You can just tell by the kickback of this next candle that there's still indecision left in this move. I want to stay below level 3 right here. Is it possible with the SRE? Let's see, so I'm going to read your question here. I think the chat can see it, so I don't need to read it out loud. Yeah, so I'm going to add that ATIF. The idea is to try to give more customization onto the levels that you pick, or that the EA uses for its grid and loss. That will be hopefully done in a later update. Stewie, with the price freezing, I haven't had too many reports so far, just one today. I haven't had any issues on my VPSs or my PCs so far. But if people are still having issues with that, then there probably could be some improvements with it. So my developer is out on holiday until this weekend, and so I can see if we can continue to try to tighten things up on when it comes to resource use. I think it's the people that have slower computers or VPSs are the ones that are experiencing the freezing. And so like I said, I'll try to see if I can continue to keep improving that. So might need to wait some time before price decides what it's doing. But as I mentioned, I want H5 candles, M5 candles to close below this level 3. That still shows that the bias is on the downside. If it closes above, then we still have chances for candles to close below after that. But it gets harder if price does end up closing above. Then bias potentially could be changing in this area. So I'm gonna have to wait this out, and hopefully price decides that it's moving down. But looking at other pairs for hints, USD CAD didn't quite hit this level. But it is, you know, there is bounce on it as well, just like all the others. DV, yeah, it's supposed to take a grid order at each new level, but keep in mind that there's also grid distance involved in that. So it needs to be at least typically about 10 pips apart from one trade to the next. So there's a minimum spacing that's required. So if your trade is too close, it won't enter at the next level. So look at the EA inputs and the video that I posted as well. That should help. And look at the inputs description, because I can probably go over that right now while waiting for this to kind of decide what it's doing. So you see here the grid start. So it needs to be 0.1 of the ATR. So whatever pair you're using. In some pairs that can be a pretty good distance. And it needs to be within 5 pips to the next SR level. And there's one trade every 15 minutes. So your distance of your grid and one trade every 15 minutes means that if you took a trade and you're expecting the next level to enter into the market, then it won't until the next 15-minute candle. Alright, so I had an M5 closure above level 3, and so now we just waited out to see how the next candle behaves. It would be ideal if this next candle pushes and closes below level 3, but I don't know if that will take place. So I'm not going to put a pending order at level 3. I want to see how price behaves just in case it does end up pushing up higher to this level. And I may put in a manual position up there. Oh yeah, so yes, it does not increase. The manual EA doesn't increase the lot size on the next order. It only does that if it's doing an auto grid. But if you're manually placing the levels yourself, like I did here, with just the horizontal lines, it won't increase the lot size. That's something that we're going to try to do an update with to allow the user to increase the lot size by each consecutive order. So I'm looking at a grid spacing, or I will be looking at a grid spacing of about 68 pips. I think probably my last chance for this to move down on this entire move would be right here at level 4. So if this pushes up, this is probably my last line of defense today. And if it doesn't reverse there, then I'm going to probably have to wait until maybe Friday's trading before a pullback, or even into next week. This could be my first time that I have to hold trades beyond a session. Yeah, Stewie, it's interesting because when there's, I typically had the freezing happening when I had 5 charts up at the same time, but never with 4. I'm not sure what that was, but then just one out of the 5 charts would freeze, and the others would be fine. Yeah, I don't know what that was, but since this recent update, I haven't had that take place though. I can delete my lines here. It's the first month since September that retail sales were negative. So, you anticipate a move and you prices pushing in a direction where it's likely to push down. And sometimes you're just wrong, And this could be that time, and that's why I use the risk I do, so I can average into my position and watch price, look at the news, assess the situation, and look to place more orders at support and resistance levels that are meaningful. So I'll probably try one more time with the EU right up here at the top. For today. And then that will be probably my last line of defense on the EU for today at that level. Alright, so M5 candle closures below level 5 here are meaningful. So I would like to see that if I had 2 candle closures above, and if I can get this one to close below, then that could mean we might be starting a move on the downside. But the candle closes in about 3 minutes. A breaking of this one level is not good. So that that means that the high of the move is being tested or pushed beyond, and I think that if this breaks, it's probably going to continue higher at that point. And then I probably have one last chance for reversal at this level today. And if this level breaks, then that's going to probably be it for the session of the potential pullback that I was looking for, being, not working out. Yeah, so I just placed a pinning over at level 4, 1.07838. My guess is price will probably make up its mind in the next 20 or so minutes before 6:30, which is it's 5:48 my time right now. So probably the next 40 minutes it will decide which direction that it's going, and you'll see it start to pick up pace. So whether that's down or up, we'll see. That's a good candle. I'm looking at M1s now. Get some hints. That's a decent M1 candle right at this level. See, I want to follow through at this point. It's a good follow through candle. Let's see if we get it. Or a good rejection candle at this level up here. I'm not going to take it because price is still deciding it, and it's too close to my initial order. Look at this M5 candle now. So this is looking good, and this closes in about 15 seconds, and that could close below level 5. That's good. That's really good for me. And a nice strong closure would be nice. May not get that. It's a closure below, but it's not full body. EU making the first move on that though, on that push down, even before gold. About 30 pips up for... This could be the bottom line for the USD CAD before that push. I mean, price is looking like it could hold here, but it's tricky. Like this M5 candle on the USD CAD. That's a good candle right at the level 5 here. It's a bullish engulfing strong body, wick on the candle. It could be the low end of the move. I would say my chances are maybe 65% at this point for both trades. EU is looking better than gold right now. Okay, so that's a good candle. Now, if I can get a closure on that, but that's still three minutes out. So this wick at the top. So this is the first candle right here, showing it's not a bullish engulfing. It's not a rejection, but this candle would be a rejection near the top because of the big wick. And if it's closed strong, then that's a rejection. But then we just have this where it popped back up, so it's not ready for that yet. Alright, so the USD CAD's moving. Gold's being more stubborn on this one. Usually it's the one to kind of make the first impulse move. And it looks like it's the one that's lagging behind right now. Alright, the EU staying below, about a minute out. Okay, so now what I'm looking for is, if I don't get a rejection, I don't think I'm going to get a rejection in this candle. I want a closure below level 2. As you can see, that hasn't happened yet, where price bounced right off of it, gave us a wick, and then made this move on the upside. So I want an M1 closure below level 2 at that level. That would be a good sign for more movement down. Since I haven't gotten a rejection on the M5 yet. Okay, so candle, since this was a sort of rejection up here, it could be using this level up here as a resistance point on the M5. So hopefully it doesn't break. We don't get a candle closure above that level right up here at the top. Gonna be a slow morning, looks like. Great. You always want fast profits. It'd been nice if this pushed down quickly. You know, but you don't always get what you want. So about another 30 minutes before I think price fully decides which direction that it's going in. There's a chance that it could stay indecisive. But I think that it will probably pick a location or direction within the next 30 minutes. Typically, it takes about an hour for if the news release was inconsistent with the numbers. Traders want to make a profit. They want to drive, or banks and institutions want to make a profit. So they want to drive price in one direction so they can actually do that. If it's going up and down, it's hard to do that. So that's why I think that they're going to try to push in one direction once they make that decision in the next 30 minutes. Laura's strategy after level 2 is to wait till the next day. And let's see how she did today. Wonder if she's in drawdown, actually. Looks like she didn't place trades today. The last one that she placed was on the 14th, so yesterday. But after she places her first 2 trades, she picks her levels, and then she waits till the next day to place 2 more levels. And I think it's a good strategy because if she's wrong and the 2 orders go against her and the price goes against her, then it's a good idea to wait for that big momentum push to take place before entering trades the next day, which could mean that they're placed during the pullback that happens the next day. So it will stop you from placing too many orders and getting in too deep of drawdown. Trading is not for the faint-hearted. I feel like I'm faint-hearted, and it's just taken a lot of practice, really, to be honest. Like, I'm a pretty emotional person, right? And I think that's why it's been so difficult to do manual trading. It's because, and I'm finally figuring this out. The reason why manual trading is so difficult emotionally is because most of us don't trust the trading system or the strategy that we're using. And I think that if we're not capable of trusting it, then it's probably not good enough, or you're not good enough of a trader. And in most cases, I think it has a lot to do with the strategy that you're using. Does it have good results? Are you feeling comfortable with it? But in the end, I think the easiest way to make yourself more comfortable when it comes to trading is to use less risk. That's pretty much it. Most people do not do that. They use way too much risk, and that it causes them to not sleep at night because they're worried about their trades, or to be checking their charts when they're supposed to be hanging out with their family or watching a movie. They're just not being present is a big thing in trading. And so I think that you know, that's something that I think is difficult for a trader's lifestyle, is to find a way to disconnect. It's hard to do that, and lowering your risk, picking a strategy that's consistent, and using that strategy with low risk first, and then increasing the risk as you see the results coming in after 3 to 6 months. It's all about the results. If you want to become a good trader, demo trade first for 3 to 6 months, find out and use the risk level that you would be on a live account. Don't be pushing it. Then after, if you have success with a demo account for 3 months, move to a smaller live account. If you have success with that live account in 3 months, then consider pushing the risk up a little bit. Maybe 2x it. And after 6 months, and you compile your results, you see how it's looking, and then you can assess if you want to push a little bit more. 12 months is usually the time bracket that tells you the most. What are your results after 12 months? Are they consistent? Are they good? Did you fail? And how can you get better if you ended up failing? A lot of people want to use algorithms to do the trading for them because it's less, it pulls on your emotions less. You don't have to find your trade setups. You don't have to do the knowledge. But there's a problem with algorithms, and that is they only see one part of the market, which is the technical side. So in order to be a good trader, I think that you have to pull from as many areas as possible. You know, the technical, the fundamental. The more you can pull from, the better your chances at success. And you know, I feel like I've done a pretty good job with my RFT algorithms. Some strategies have lost over the last year. Some of them are still doing really well. And it really depends on how the market has interacted with that strategy. Is it a scalping strategy? Is it taking a lot of trades? Is that strategy exposing itself a lot to the market? Like Vigorous, for example, that strategy is taking like 10 to 20 trades a day, 10 to 15, and it's always exposed to the market, which potentially makes it more risky, because if news events happen, or even a unscheduled news event or a political or war or something like that, price could really go crazy and put it at risk. A human trader can modify and adjust a little bit faster than an algo can. So that's why I'm doing these sessions, is to attempt to teach you guys how to pull multiple elements in, so you can potentially profit. And I didn't used to think this way before. I used to think that algo trading was the way to go because it was less emotions. It was the same kind of profit as a manual trader. After developing the support and resistance indicator, I don't feel that way anymore. I think that you can profit a lot more being in tune with the market with these support and resistance levels, because an algo wouldn't be able to trade them very well. It doesn't know what's going on politically and across the world. You can make a better assessment of when to take trades based on support and resistance, based on the news that's taking place, based on what's going on, the climate, the bias, the behavior of what's taking place with the markets, from a human element. Are people fearful? Are they not? What's going on with that? An algo can't do that. There's a place for algos, but it means making less profit. Alright, so about 20 minutes left until the market probably decides what it's doing. I find that algo trading, let's see, so still boils down So you think it boils down to discipline? Discipline. I think that's part of it, but I think that the fear that goes along with that, it all ties to too much risk. It really all ties to too much risk. But the thing is that if you don't have enough risk, then you don't feel that urgency to that emotional pull to it, potentially. So you're detached from it, but it's also less exciting. There's definitely a gambling element to trading for sure. And I know that there's a lot of traders that hate that emotional, like I lost a bunch of money or I profited a bunch of money. There's traders that like that, that excitement, right? If you're a person like that, you should trade a small demo account or a small live account and use it as play money, and then have a larger account that you look for 2 to 3% per month. So you can get your gambling feel with the small money, and then you can be a real trader on the side. I know there's a lot of traders that do that, and I think it's smart because it will cause you not to gamble on your large account. At least it will help you. So getting some reactions on other pairs, like the Aussie USD is reacting more, so is the EU. Gold's still holding out right now. So what that means to me, or shows to me right now, is that this move could be temporary on the downside, and gold is not reacting to it yet. Thanks, Success Dynamics. Glad you like the sessions. It's sometimes hard to know what to talk about with this stuff, but or in these sessions. But I've been doing this for 19 years. It's been a freaking long time. I started trading at 18, I think it was 18 or 19 years old. Basically the same time I started touring with my group, with my piano group. And the reason for that is because I wanted to something to do I had a ton of downtime in my hotel rooms before concerts. So I'd rehearse and downtime in the hotel after the rehearsal was done, and then wait for the concert in the evening. And I wanted something to do with my time. You know, I can't just play video games every day, all the time in my room. So I was like, I want something to do with the money that I'm making from these concerts. So I was looking for something to invest in. And in 2000, I think it was in 2008 or 7 was when I first got into trading. And or is it maybe 2005? I think it was 2005. Yeah, it was 2005. Yeah, it's basically Bitcoin was brand new at that time, or I didn't even hear about it, I think. And so Forex popped up on my screen. Yeah. And that's how that began. I started with a signal, a Forex signal from a website, and the story is always the same for everybody. The signal made me like $10,000 on demo. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I was hooked at that point, right? That's how it works, is that your first time you see that money come in, even if it's on a demo account, you're like, oh shit, this is what I'm going to be doing with my excess money that I'm making from my concerts. Oh, Tedman, basically like the hidden take profit as faults, like in other RFTEAs, where it will be a broker take profit instead of basically just showing you a green line. Yeah, I think that's something that we can do. I think that I want that for stop losses as well. So the EA is capable of placing a broker stop loss. Yeah, that's the thing is I think that most traders go back and forth on their accounts. You know, making a profit, having a loss, and it's just this back and forth. And eventually most people just give up because they don't get anywhere, or they have too many losses and it's a financial bind. I've had people come to me where they've like lost hundreds of thousands of dollars, even millions of dollars, and they come to me saying, "Help me." And you know, I tell most of these people that come to me in this forum, I tell them, you should just stop trading. It needs to be done, because if you're into if you've lost this much money and you're in a financial bind, then you're not going to be able to trade yourself out of that in a smart way. I still don't like this. I'd say my chances are probably 60% now, so they're going down based on this level up here holding. Oh yeah, it is available. Yeah, I did forget about that. Yeah, so the hit and take profit is available. So it is right. Hit and take profit. So if you set this to false, it will place a broker take profit. I just don't have it set for something like this for the stop loss yet. The problem with a lot of these people on YouTube, and I'm actually getting kind of a little bit irritated with YouTube because of how many traders are fake. How many fake traders there are on YouTube. Most of them. Most of them are making money from YouTube ad revenue or from selling a product. Most of them aren't actually traders, which is unfortunate. YouTube isn't the best place to learn how to trade, unfortunately. The problem is it's difficult to really know the best place to actually trade or to learn how to trade. You can get some good, decent snippets here and there from people, but most of the strategies are a waste of time because they haven't been thoroughly tested. And the trader is a fraud. Yeah, it's unfortunate that that's the case on YouTube, and that's always been the case. But that's changing. These guys are being attacked. A lot of them are, and it may cause the scene to clean up a bit. All right, so we're breaking out. So now I have to, I'm probably going to wait for price to hit this level up here at the top before entering another sell trade. There is a bit of a gap between this level 1 right here and this next level, which is good. It's a little bit wider than even from this level 1 to level 2. So hopefully price will reject here. But we're starting to get in. We're almost an hour in outside of the news release. And the more that this continues up, the less likely that I'm obviously going to get out of the trade in profit today. you can see that even with price going against me, that my drawdown is still very manageable. 45 pips against me right now, and I do think that this is going to probably go up to level 2 and 3 up here. And will it have a pullback up there? Let's go to the higher time frame to see. That's the most optimal spot for it right here, because if you look higher up, this is the next big zone, which is another level 3. And the next daily levels, the red ones, are all the way up here. So the optimal spot for potential, if it's not going to happen right where price is right now, this would be it. It would be right there. And so that would basically be my last line of defense for this trade right here before price. And if price breaks that, it's likely to continue much higher up to level 3. And so I would space out my trade quite a bit. So level 1, 2, 3, and then probably 4 up here. And that would be a 4 trade sequence in this whole entire group. That would be probably a drawdown of, if price went all the way up to here and I had all these trades in, that would probably be about 5 to 7% drawdown at that point. So kind of calculating how I want to manage my risk, and based on how big this move potentially will be. Because the news is mixed today, I'll look at the news for tomorrow. Alright, so the news for tomorrow is the PPI. Unless it's dramatic, it could. So it's been negative. If price moves up today, this could come in positive. So price continues to move up today, and if it comes in positive, if price moves up, then it could be leading indicator for that data, the PPI, or sorry, I think it's the PPI, yeah. For the PPI to come in positive, and that would cause a pullback to happen, which would get me out of the trade. So I'll have to see how that works out. Level 1 is still holding up here at the top. It's weak, though. It's weak. But typically how I see this happening, when price pushes up, or pushes down, pushes up, and then kind of creeps up and kind of knocks on this door multiple times, where it pushes up, comes back down, hits it again, like this kind of movement, and making slightly new highs as well. Typically price doesn't all of a sudden decide that it's gonna just fall. It's most likely at this point to start continuing to creep up, and it might even have a little pop here up to level 3. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll probably set a sell limit here up here at the top, right in between the two levels, just in case there is a pop-up to that level. So the best way to add to trades is, see, like what I'm doing right now, and I'm making an assessment. I'm looking at my levels, all on my chart. So the H4 are the blue, the daily are the red. So I'm looking at the levels that I think are going to show the most potential for a pullback or reversal. And that's right here, where you have a red level and a blue level at the same point. This is a level 3 on the H4. So this is likely another big level of support resistance, but it's still pretty close to the daily level, which is going to be more important. So that's where I want to wait for my third order would be right in here, even though price potentially may bounce here, and I might make an assessment at this level 3 for a potential trade. But I'll have to see probably a candle rejection at that level in order to take it. So I'm placing a pending order here because this makes a lot of sense for another order. I might wait for a M5, M15 rejection at this level before taking a trade. And this other level here, this daily and H4, this would be a pending order. More sure bet at these two places. So that's how I make an assessment, and then I look at the news, what's coming out for the day. Is it the PPI? Is it something else? There's also the consumer sentiment, and this has been positive the last 3. So I don't know. Price is probably going to move some tomorrow. It's not going to be a dead day. There's high impact data. But if it was like NFP or something like that, that might change how I trade and where I place trades. But I want to let you guys know that like I'm not placing trades at every single level. You know, there's a lot of levels on this chart, right? I want to place them at the levels that are most meaningful. So if I'm going to the EU chart, and the places that are most meaningful, or you know, right here where I placed my first trade, second trade, which is at level 5, and this is the highest level, I think, on the chart. This is the level 4. So this is the last big level, or these two right here. So this is the last major level that's been recently hit. So not even just ignoring, you know, the levels, how many times they've been hit is important. But this is the most recent last swing level, which is right up here, right around the round number 1.08. And so if price breaks past this level, then personally I think that it has a pretty clean shot to the next major level of resistance. So these two levels are pretty key on the EU holding and continuing back down. Okay, so gold is rejected on the H1 or the M1 or M5 right here. So it's still holding that. It's interesting, and we're about an hour after the news. USD Swiss franc is tanking a lot more than the others. Why will I not consider taking my losses? Good talking point. Because of the earlier data this week. The CPI data, to me, was strong enough for this pullback to be only temporary. So yes, the retail sales came in negative. The unemployment claims being positive helps kind of take away the sting or make it not as bad. But it being negative should, you know, obviously cause this to run up. But you can see how price is reacting to it already. There's indecision. And I think that indecision will eventually boil out to be positive USD because of the news later on this happened earlier this week. And if the news on Friday is positive, which I don't know if it will be or not, then that would steam a big buy-in for the USD. I'll probably go for another hour or so. I know that some of you'll go in and out because it's just so boring. There's not much going on. It's just when price is stuck like this. It's nice when it's moving in one direction and you can, you know, kind of play that out. But when it's stuck like this, and I don't know if it will be stuck like this for the rest of the session. It could be. But my time is running out for today, though, for sure. Do you plan to make a new ZA? You know, I've been thinking about this, and that's the thing. I need my EAs, my algorithms to be smarter. And retail technology is garbage. It's like... I think I've made the comparison to us retail traders having, like, just the dullest of tools compared to what institutions have, banks and institutions. Like, it's really sad, the kind of things that we have access to compared to them. And most of it's data oriented. And it's just because our trading software that we use, like MetaTrader 4, MetaTrader 5, they're not great. And the other trading softwares don't have any kind of implementation where you can build good algorithms and stuff. We need better systems, better like ideas to better trading software, so we can implement better back testing, potentially AI as well. This is where, you know, things are going, and I think that's why it's so difficult for retail traders to profit, is because we just don't have the technology to do it. And we also don't have the money either, so we can't really compete with the banks and institutions that just really push price wherever they want. All right, so we've broken out, and this is kind of what I expected would happen. I do want that trade on gold. All right, there it is. Okay, so this is price deciding on its direction. It has one last level of defense here. Now, does it reject, or do we push up? And that's the question here. So this level right here is where we're currently testing. So level 1. Going down to the M1. Now, do I think it's gonna reject here? Let's see. My initial gut tells me no. My gut tells me no, that it won't reject here. And it's because price has decided on a move, and it's not a lot of space from where it decided to its level right here. So it could have enough momentum to break past that level. And I may close out the trade because of that. But yeah, this will be my last level or line of defense, like as I mentioned, and the same thing for the EU at 1.07838. Now, since I'm on the M1, it can go a little bit beyond this level, but I need a closure below the level and probably a kind of a whip on the candle halfway up the candle before hitting this next level. So it needs to have a reaction pretty soon if I'm going to see a rejection at that level. Okay, so M1 rejection may be coming in. Need a strong closure. If that's it, that sucks because I just barely missed the third entry on the EU. All right, that's a decent M1 rejection, but it's not below the level 3. Now I need another M1 candle closure below level 3, and that would be good. USD CAD still going down, which is not what I want to see. There's still about 20 minutes left of this candle, so it could pull up, but it's taken in it's broken this initial level where it was looking for a possible bounce. I don't think the rejection is good enough yet. All right, so my distance between my orders, 70 pips. That's pretty good. All right, another good candle closure below level 3 on this one. Missed this entry by 0.9 pips. The reason why I think that I'm probably not going to get this rejection here, it's not going to hold, is looking at other pairs like the USD CAD and it breaking the level 5 here, which is, I think, a pretty dominant support. It doesn't mean that it can't find support here or here. Maybe I can make a better assessment of it might hold here. It could at this weak little level 1. Level 5 is more meaningful, but let's see if we can get a bit of a whip with that within that candle. Bit of a rejection on the pound USD. Yeah, I'm not sure if I talked much about a news EA, so I do want to try to see if I can implement some AI into my EAs. News EAs are hard because they're not very accurate in assessing the data. Like you've seen Trader Nick, he's got his Edge Finder. I don't know if you guys watch him at all, but he's got his Edge Finder, which kind of compiles all the fundamentals into one place, and it tries to make an assessment of the news and how it's, and you know, the numbers. And it's sometimes difficult to do that because we don't know how banks and institutions are going to react to the news. Just because something's positive for a release for the USD doesn't necessarily mean that the USD is going to gain value. It could have deeper meaning, or banks and institutions will just decide whatever they want to do. And so sometimes it's difficult to assess how good it is to build out something that to basically build a news EA. Because how good is it going to be at assessing the market? A human's going to be better at doing that. Yeah, this could be all the reaction I get right in here. Before it pushes higher up. Counter rejection here. That would be good. That would increase my chances if this closes bearish and below the open of this previous group. That would be a rejection at the top, a further rejection at the level. That closes in 7 seconds. I don't know if it's going to have it. Not good enough. USD Swiss franc is at a round number, which is good, even though it's still not at a support and resistance level. All right, the USD CAD just about to touch this level of resistance, support. How much percent do I expect on this account each month? So here are my results right now. So I'm up 0.23% today. I'm currently in drawdown, which shows 1%. So I'm expecting to make anywhere from 5 to 10% each month. I don't really want to make more than 10% because it will put too much pressure on my account if I'm wrong, and if I'm double, if I'm in on 2 pairs. So basically, if I'm buying the USD on 2 pairs or selling the USD on 2 pairs, I don't want to overexpose myself with that. So I cut my risk bound down in half after I ended up making 27% back in December. And price was rejecting from major levels of support and resistance on the EU. And it was pretty easy. Like, it was not showing much drawdown, although I hit about 15% drawdown twice. But I ended up coming out with 27% because I held those trades for a really long time because they were key levels of support and resistance on the EU. And I was able to come out with some really good profit. So last month, about 7.73, which is really good. And that's about where I want to be. That's a really good month. If I'm at 5%, that's great too. This month, I'm on track. If these trades work out, I'm on track to do probably about the same, around 7%. Oh, okay. All right. Gold reacting to that level. Might be in business here. My chances are improving now a lot. Back up to 65%. Maybe higher at this point. So now since we've broken out from this level, and as I was mentioning to you guys before, this was the last meaningful level before all the way up to level 3 up there, which is, 100 pips away. So this is where you assess how this data was coming out today. This data apparently was able to push from right about here all the way up to here, which is about, what, 70 pips maybe? 70 pips. And based on the CPI that came out this week, that was way positive. We're moving. All right, so I'm going to hold this probably until this level, this daily support level. I'm going to just check to see how much profit that is. So it's 216. Sorry if these take profit sounds are really loud. Okay, so how big is this move, this rejection going to be? Is it going to be one where it pushes all the way down and we come all the way back down to this zone right here into Friday's trading? That's where I need to decide. And it matters how much this moves in the next 2 hours where I make that decision. I think that I think it's going to probably have a pullback here if price reaches this level. Probably have a pullback, and it could be minimal before it pushing further down. Yeah, how old am I? I'm actually 38. I know that I look a lot younger than that. It's just, baby face and young jeans. The facial hair helps, but, I still look like I'm 18 to a lot of people. I wish I would have gotten filled on that order. That's really too bad. 7 pips. And sometimes when it's that close to a level, it does mean that it's touched it. And so that's why sometimes I put my level just slightly under, and I did do it slightly under the level, but it wasn't enough. It's okay because this trade I'll probably be looking to get out of it at break even, at where the break even line is. So pushing down here, get out at break even on that trade, and take hopefully take a bigger profit on gold. But we're gonna see if this rejection holds. Right now it's bouncing off of this level 1. So is it gonna retest level 3 again, or is this gonna be a weak bounce and push down further? Meanwhile, USD CAD is still falling. Interesting. But just like that, my drawdown has gone down by half. It was 1%. Now it's less than that. Yeah, I started trading at 18. So yeah, I guess that makes it 20 years that I've been trading. I thought it was 19, but yeah, I started trading really young. And I lost a lot of money in the beginning. That's for sure. And I got into algorithms really, really early on. I think it was 19. I found algorithms and was super interested in the concept. And the whole idea behind neural network algorithms, or EAs, which is total bullshit. Yeah. Wow, that is quite the reaction at that level. And you guys are seeing firsthand that these levels are no joke. Price reacts to them, right? I need these other pairs to shape up. In particular, the USD CAD, how it's still falling. I need to see a little bit more bounce there. I'm gonna open up the UJ. That a lot of times can give me some hints as well. Okay, so there's some movement there. It's still my biggest worry with this, is that this bounce is, or this rejection from this 206 is only temporary, and so that's what I'm waiting to see if it's gonna hold, and I want it to, but that's where we decide how serious these retail sales are to banks and institutions. If it's serious that the numbers were kind of negative today, then they'll retest this level, and this will just be a temporary pullback, and we'll push. And next time, if price decides it's going to run up and hits this level again, I think it's more likely for it to continue and push through. So the next hour is going to probably be pretty meaningful. What do you mean which levels are on your indicator? Success dynamites? Oh, dynamics, not dynamites. Okay, I didn't notice this, but the USD CAD is at a round number. And round numbers a lot of times can show natural support or resistance. So that's helpful. If that's at a round number, the USD Swiss franc is also at a round number. Looking at other pairs to give me hints is a big thing with this indicator. Just something that you should be doing in general. Looking at other pairs to see what they're doing. Are they at support and resistance levels? Are they at round numbers? To give you ideas into, is your trade going to play out? Where should you be placing your next levels? How fast is price moving? All these things make a difference or matter. Okay, so yeah, I mentioned this in before. If this is what your question is, the blue are at H4 levels. The red are daily levels. gold has a pretty doesn't have a lot of daily levels, as you can see. This daily level up here, daily level, and there's sometimes can be like 100 pips in between or more. And so I want to see the H4 levels. I think that gold respects H4 levels really well, and so that's why I have it on chart as well. So I have 2 instances of the indicator. You can see it right here, indicator list. So 2 of them, and one is running the daily or daily time frame, and the other H4, different colors. Weird day. It's been a strange day for trading, where initially it went up, no initial whipsaw after an hour after the data, and then getting a rejection at 206 pretty late, and still not knowing if it's going to hold or not. So the suspense is still here. I think if this level breaks, level 1, and price gives me another 1 to 2 H1 M1 closures below that level, I think that starts to show that this level's breaking and gonna push lower. And I would start to feel a lot more comfortable if that happens. Once this level is broken, then I probably have a pretty good chance at it pushing to this level by the end of the day. And when it comes to placing other levels on like the EU or GU, right now I'm not finding it necessary because the daily levels are still pretty close together on EU, GU, pretty much all the major pairs. So I'm not finding it necessary to use other levels, even the H4. Okay, minor rejection here on the M1. Just below level 1. Not convinced on that candle yet. I need gold to make the first move here because the USD CAD, US dollar, Swiss franc are both at key levels, but they need something to kind of make the first move in the opposite direction. And I think that needs to be gold to make the first impulse move breaking out from this level. If I see that on gold, it's possible I could add a third position to the EU, because then I start having more confidence in my trade at that point, and I want to take part on that move on the downside so I can get out of my EU trade before the end of the day. 20 pips is not that much, to be honest. It's not. It could probably move that much to get out of this trade at break even. It's looking better. It's still looking better for me right now, which is great. But a sloppy morning, and being wrong and then still being kind of right. Just kind of needing to be patient and waiting it out. US 30 making a recovery, but I mean, this is the first time I'm checking it. So initial push up for the news candle, but right nearing support or resistance at level 1. And I think that it will struggle to push through that, so probably have a pullback from here the rest of the day, which is good for my trades. I need that to happen. I need that pullback to happen at that level 1. In order to come out of these trades, I think. Oh, banks are always playing with us. I mean, I swear they're probably laughing at us because they can just do whatever they want. It's like taking candy from children, you know. And the only thing that we can do as traders is try to read into what the banks and institutions are doing so we can try to follow along with them and, you know, take profits. So we're not one of those, the majority that are losing, that the banks are taking money from. Going back up. Retest maybe coming in of 207. I don't even, you know, smart money concepts. You know, I basically, that's what people are talking about with banks and institutions. It's like, do what the banks and institutions are doing. That's smart money concepts. I think that those are, most of the stuff that people talk about with smart money concepts is BS. Nobody really knows what the banks and institutions are doing until it's too late. And so that's why smart money concepts are BS, is because I think that if you're trying to follow the banks, you're likely using indicators and mechanics that are going to get you in too late and cause you to lose just the same. And that's why I don't like using indicators with this strategy, with support and resistance trading, because using even a candle formation indicator can a lot of the times get you in too late. So like, for example, in this case, this rejection on the M1, this would be a good entry. So right here on this candle. And I entered basically a pending order because I knew that this level had a lot of importance. And so I didn't need to wait for a rejection candle in order to take that. But sometimes you might not get a rejection where price will just go up, tap the level, and pull right back down. Most indicators that if you're looking for something that give you some kind of idea that this is going to reject, it may not happen. And it also may not be good enough, and it may get you in way too late. Where if you're looking for this to reject, you might not get in until like this level. And so you have all this price from this point to this point. And you know, at this point, at where price is currently, your trade would be basically at break even. And we want to try to find the best places to get in as early as possible. And I feel like too many indicators will cause you to get in way too late, causing you to lose money. I know it's like a lot of people were talking about ICT and like the concepts there. A lot of the smart money concepts come from that, at least on YouTube. And ICT trading, I think it's also BS. So I'll probably wait another hour, I think, because that will be about 11 o'clock New York time. And I think that by that point, I'll make a decision if, you know, price has done its thing, if I'm in drawdown. If it's closer to hitting my take profit, which is right down here, then I might wait it out. I don't know, it could start moving, and it really could start moving down in the next hour. But you know, there's always that thing where this is a stream, and this will be my first stream I don't have profit on, but I've only had like 4 of them so far. So I did check this, if the levels were the same across MT4 and MT5, and they were similar, at least on my broker that I checked. But the thing is that every broker has different prices, and this indicator is calculating its support and resistance levels off of the close and open. And brokers can have drastically different close and open prices based on the spread, you know, their feed. Oh, I might be timing out or freezing. Yeah, my graphics card just crashed. It sometimes does that for whatever reason. Okay, so my feed's back up now. It should be. Okay, so we're back online, but my video isn't working. Apparently opening up my broker crashed everything. Can you guys see my video feed? Is it working? I can't even tell. Okay, so now I think it's working now. Good. Okay. Oh, all right. So my third EU trade just got triggered. All right, we're going back into drawdown again. Lame. I hope that this is another rejection. So looks like the USD Swiss franc is still holding at its round number. We're now at level 2 on the USD CAD. The screen is freezed. Oh, so for my video footage, let me see if I can get this back up. Yeah, I don't know what to do about the streaming kind of failing. Since my graphics driver got stuck, I think that the screen is frozen. I'm gonna check and see. It might cause me to end my stream. Okay, so it looks like it might be coming up. Alright, so I can't modify my camera, unfortunately. So I'm probably going to end this stream today because my video card crashed. It means I think I would have to reset the stream. And I'm not know if it means... let me see if I can reset this. Okay, I'm back up. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hopefully that doesn't happen again. It's when I tried to open up another broker just to see what the support and resistance levels looked like. So we're back to about 60% success rate here. And I don't think I'm going to get my profit today. It's starting to get a little bit later. And we've retouched level 3. And now the question is are we going to break through? The EU has touched this 1.07838 resistance. And just a big question of if things are going to hold now. Pound USD is at round number. US dollar Swiss francs at the round number. This is barely holding at this level right now, which is the 1.348 level. I'll wait a bit longer and see how this works out. Looks like we lost a few people during my mishap with my computer. I don't think that will go to 210 today. Well, unless it decides that it's finally going to blow through, which is possible that there could be a late reaction once price decides that it's going to just go. But it's looking like this level's holding, which is not great for me. So as I mentioned to you guys before, that if we try to retest this level, this time it has a stronger chance at breaking through. But these will be the last two levels that I hit for a while. And so then I'll just let my account go into drawdown and then wait for price to calm down, which will probably be into tomorrow's trading before the whatever news gets released, the PMI data. So if price continues to run up, I would guess by tomorrow that I'll be in maybe 3 to 5% drawdown if this goes against me, if these levels don't hold today. Higher volatility will typically run out at about 9 o'clock my time. That's about lunchtime. So lunchtime in New York City, so 12 o'clock. That's when things start to die out, and price will slowly creep up in the direction typically that it had going earlier in the session, so when it was pushing up. So if this doesn't come down and break these levels in the next 2 hours, then I think that this will break this level and likely continue up from there. And it looks like the EU is already attempting to break this level. Okay, indices are just hitting the resistance. And I'll be streaming tomorrow too. Basically, seeing how this plays out. So these trades could be in still by tomorrow, unless there's some magical push on the way down. Yeah, so I could be holding these into tomorrow's session and see if I can come out with profit then. Yeah, this is, if we're going to the EU again, this is kind of its last level of defense for the EU for the week. I think that this is more of a dominant level where it is right now. So holding here is ideal. It could knock out stops here and push and look to this next level as its last line of defense and push down from there. But that's a full recovery of the CPI data's move almost on the EU. My stop loss will depend on the situation. Typically I won't run more than 20% for my stop loss. But I could close out my trades anywhere from 0.1% all the way up to 20%, and my last line is 30%. So I won't lose more than 30% on my account ever. But I like to stay within the 15 to 20% drawdown for maximum for my trades, because I'm making anywhere from 5 to 10% a month, and I want to be able to recover that within a 1 to 2 month period. I won't place any more. Am I going to be placing any more pending orders for the EU? I might consider that last level up at the top. Because even though this is the last level, one of the last levels of defense, this is the final one right here, in my opinion. If price doesn't reverse there, then we could break out further and keep going to level 2 and level 4, and so on and so forth. I do kind of think that price will hold here for the day. I think this is going to be the maximum run up, and it will stop here. And that means the gold stopping here as well. So, you know, by the end of the day today, I could come out with profit. It's possible. I just don't want to be streaming all day. You know, there'll be like 3 people left in here by that time. Yeah. You know, how it's tough because when price is moving against you, that's when you have to make decisions to, you know, close out for a loss, re-entry on your trades, average in, and you have to try to make the best plan possible. And sometimes that can be very tricky, especially if price is moving aggressively against you. So like if I was really wrong today and price went straight up like 100, 200 pips, that hurts, because then there's less likely for a pullback. Today is a lot more sloppy on the move, where it went down initially, went up, and it's been struggling to find a direction. That's helpful. It allows me to survive a little bit longer and potentially have less drawdown. But as the session goes, you know, you understand that you're going to probably be having to hold these trades through the rest of the session or into tomorrow's session as well. And that sucks. That means holding the trades overnight and kind of monitoring them potentially. But for now, I'm going to leave this level untouched. So no pending order. And it's because it's only about 12 pips distance. From my second to my third trade, it's about 18. So it's not really meaningful unless I want it to stack, unless I'm really sure about this level up at level 3 and price reversing there. All right, there's that breakout. Potentially. I mean, it's not solidified yet, but it's looking more like it. Interesting though. If you look at the cross pairs, in particular the USD Swiss franc, having that rejection at the round number. Okay, yeah, see that rejection coming in on gold, possibly again at the same level. If it holds a second time, then that means that we're in this tight range, pushing up, back down into level 1, back into level 3, and then level 1. So this is where the test is. Are we going to bounce off this level again and retest, or are we going to push through? This would be the move that I'm hoping for right there. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I kind of want to see how this plays out right at this level. See if I get a rejection. And if I do, and price comes back down from there, then I may just end the stream at that point. Price is telling me across other pairs that it's not, that this gold level isn't going to break. I would be seeing more on other pairs of a push against the USD. Okay, so M5 rejection attempting on the USD CAD, and this is the first one in this entire move. Well, there's this one right here, right there. But this would be a new one. This could bring some life back into a USD buy-in, which would fuel this rejection and also this one. So, about 3 minutes out until I see what that gives me. It's trying. It's trying to break. It's trying to break this level. Which is, oh wow, okay. I was gonna say that this is a little bit weird because I see some USD buying coming in on other pairs, and I'm just like, why is gold having this initial push? It likes to push right into that and then have these wick candles at key levels. So, I just wanted to get out of this danger zone though. Like, give me some candle closures below level 3. Really like this on the USD CAD though. If I could get that closed, and that closes in 20 seconds. Strong candle close there. That's a not necessarily a rejection, but yeah, it's a rejection, and it would be a rejection at level 2. And this is having a small bounce at level 2 too. So this is the most that I've gotten across all pairs at this point. So the correlation is working well. So hopefully that gives me enough. Almost a rejection on the EU. You can see the candle here had made a new high with the wick, but the body of the candle didn't close below the previous open, so it's not quite a full rejection. Rejection candle on the GU, but this candle after is not cooperating, not breaking the previous low. So you guys could say that this is a double top, right? That's the term that everybody likes to use, double tops. Yeah, gold reacting to that level. This is the candle right here. This is the initiative candle, or the impulse candle rejection. There was a follow through with it too. So this candle after these two candles. So now just level 1 is in the way. And based on what I'm getting on these other pairs, this could be the start of this. Look at this. The rejection, right? The follow through. A follow through on that. And if this candle closes strong, that's a really good sign for more movement on the downside. This could speed up. Yeah. I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna watch this out. Because now I have 3 trades in on the EU, and I can actually pull profit on this move. And before the end of the day, actually, I could probably hit profit on both of these if I get enough momentum here. And it's starting to get a little bit later in the session, but I need this to really start picking up pace. Like this candle pulling back right now, where you see it, the wick, that's not going to help this movement. So this needs to pick up pace, and if that's the case, then yeah, this could start picking up and I could hit profit in the next hour. Already 25 pips down from this top. This is going to be the next pocket zone that is going to show a lot of reaction. So you'll see price probably bounce in and out. And then this would probably be, if it's not level 3 here, the level 1 would be a good place to close out my trades. And I probably will do that. I might even wait. I might even close out. Considering how prices moved today, I might even close out just at level 3 just to be safe. Take profit for my EU trades will probably be just beyond level 5. So not break even, just like maybe 5 pips profit. Days like this, I'm not looking to profit a whole lot. When price kind of didn't go in my favor, I'm not looking to just break even. I am looking to take some profit, but it's more sloppy. It's starting to get later in the day, so I want to close out my trades before price starts to slow down. Good, nice candle closure on the M5 on the USD CAD. Okay, so at this point on level 1, I wanted 2 M5 closures below level 1. So you can see previously we had just one M5 closure, and then the next candle closed above, showing that this is an active level and it's showing us support. But if I can get 2 M5 candle closures below level 1, that would be my signal that this is pushing further down, or likely to push further down from that point. So another 10 minutes maybe to see how this works out. That's a pretty strong candle closure below. It's gonna the further that it closes below level 1, the harder it is for the next candle to close above it. So if I can get a good momentum candle here, close to level 2, and it closes strong, that's good momentum for maybe another M5 closure below that. Looking better. This is looking much better. I'd say once this candle closes, if it closes strong, then I'm probably back up to 70% chance for closing out in profit before my stream ends today. But I don't want to see a wick. I don't want to see a big wick on this. I don't want to see a wick be above these wicks right here. I want to see this candle close below these levels here, and that would be a strong closure, and likely the next candle won't pop up if it closes below these previous wicks, or above these, below these previous wicks. So 2 minutes out for this candle. Geez, it might even tap level 2 on this M5 closure. All right, so we're officially in break even across all trades. That's the biggest momentum candle that we've had since the initial news released. Come on, give me a strong closure. 1 minute out. Oh, breaking level 2. All right. So level 1 is now officially done, in my opinion. It would be really difficult for a candle to close above that, unless this has a big whip all the way back up here again. Yeah, we're gonna see this. Oh, come on. Freaking gold in the last 2 minutes. It happens a lot. And it's tempting to have a closure, a body closure above these levels, or at the same level. Okay, that's a decent closure. I would have liked better than that. It's showing now that level 2 is active. Level 1 has now been broken, and I would be surprised to see another M5 candle closure above level 1 right here. That would be difficult, I think. Now it's time to see how level 2 is in play. This is probably all stemming from the rejection happening on the US 30, or from indices. All right, officially in profit. You know, the thought is crossing in my mind, do I close right now? Do I wait this out? I've waited for 2 hours now. Is this temporary, or is this going to be continued momentum and we'll push into this daily level? So I'm going to go ahead and set my take profit levels just in case. Oh, okay. EU is pushing. Nice. About 3 minutes left of that candle. Might get a nice pop here and push right into that level. That's what I'm hoping for, and hit my take profit so I can get out of this. This candle closure matters. If it closes really strong, I'll keep my trades in. But I'm considering closing everything out soon before it even hits my take profit. Good closures below level 2. Yeah, getting a little bit too much here. Candle closes in 20 seconds. I want to see a strong M15 close. Seeing a bit of reaction at level 2. Close to level 5 here, too. I think it's going to push lower, but does patience go against me here or for me? That's the assessment I'm trying to make. It's a good candle closure on the M15 on the EU. All right, see if I can get some hints on the other pairs. Still a good momentum on other USD. Rejection still coming in on the US 30. I don't think that this level 2 is going to hold. I think it's going to at least push into level 3 or even the daily before a potential for a larger pullback. And then it has a pop up there. How's it going, Alex? We've been streaming for about 2 hours and 15 minutes. Been a lot of up and down and a lot of waiting, a lot of patience. And sitting in a chair for straight for 2 hours, I'm still not used to that. I gotta get used to that if I'm doing these streams. Alright, so gold is well in profit right now. The EU is about break even. Just give me a little bit more. What are my monthly earnings that I survive on from trading? I like to make at least 5,000. That's comfortable for me. I can pay for my living expenses and also keep some on the side as well. And right now I'm pretty close to that with my accounts, making 5,000. But I'd have to stay within, about 10% profit each month. So I'm really looking to get to around 100,000 in trading balance, and a buffer of 150K, and then I can survive on that, and even have to pull from it if I need to, if I have 150K. All right, I am just about ready to close this out. Oh, okay. Now we're moving a little bit. I'm gonna see what this candle does on the closure on this. I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Now it may go a little bit further down, but I'm tired, and I don't like the EU being at this level. I think it's going to break through, but like I said to you guys earlier, it's been a longer morning. Price went initially against me, so it has a lot more ground to make up. If it's pushed against me initially and then has a lot more ground to make up on the way down, and it's starting to get a little bit later in the session. We are close, but because of how price reacted and I was wrong initially, I'm going to close my profits out shorter. So I want to see what what price gave me today. Okay, so I had 0.23% already, so that's $100 profit because of my initial trade take that I did earlier. Let's see. So it's pushing further down. That's okay. That's okay. So you can see my trade here on the M5. So this was my trade that I took during the European session, expecting price to move up. It did, and I expected that pullback to happen in this zone on the downside after the retail sales numbers came out. That didn't happen. Initially there was a whipsaw, it came back down, it pushed back up into the next level. That's where I entered my second trade. And price was pretty sketchy up in there for a while. Came down, found support at level 1, came back up into level 3, then finally had that move on the downside. So before I end the session, I just wanted to see what my profit is. This will update in another minute or so. The EU, I think I closed this one out at just a small amount of profit. Right at level 5. Okay, so a 0.5% profit. That's not bad. It's not bad for today, and that includes That includes my buy trade from yesterday. That was 0.23. So not a ton of profit, but I'm at 5% this month. And another stream that I've been able to close out profit in. So I would say that that's successful, considering that I was prepared to go into drawdown. I had a plan in place just in case that happened, and knew what my drawdown was likely to be if price ended up going against me in a big way. So if I was wrong and my second trade went against me, I know where I was going to be placing my third and fourth trade, and likely what my drawdown would be, estimating what my drawdown would be, which is probably around 5 to 7% by this point, just in case price did heavily go against me heavily. But that's why I picked the risk that I do, because I typically am wrong 2 to 4 times, and I like to give myself multiple chances to be wrong with the market's direction. And today I was wrong initially, but went in my favor, and I'm glad for that. Just had to be patient with it, and it worked out. All right, guys. I think that is it for today. Thanks for joining in.